What's up? Oh, what's up, brother? Good evening, or wherever you are. Good morning, good afternoon. How's it going? I had a couple minutes, or even up to an hour. I just wanted to see who was online and answer some questions. That's really the purpose of this thing here. Good morning. Simple. So I don't know what's going to come out of this. Just ask your questions, and we'll see. Thank you for the psychic self-defense videos. You're welcome. And it's good that you're patient, Good that you're patient because they're being sent over the course of a couple of weeks, really. Oh, it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth the wait. Trust me. Yeah. And there's some profound stuff in there, actually, where I think people don't really get how profound it is. Because when I send out a video that is about the mentality that you need for psychic self-defense, they just go over that video and they're like, okay, give me the next one, the next fix, the next fix, the next fix. And that's really an example of how people study and how people approach information. And where it's like, give me the next fix, give me the next fix, give me the next fix. People don't stay with something and really could analyze it in depth. However, if you wanna really understand a subject, if you really want to get to the core of it, and if you really want to master something, you have to stick with it. You have to consume it. You have to become it. This is when the deep secrets will reveal themselves, okay? This is when this new reality really opens up to you. You can't just skip things or jump from subject to subject to subject, That's why magic will never be accessible to most people. Forget it. I mean, the dedication that people have these days, or rather the lack of dedication, impossible, man. Impossible. Yeah. Peace, Frank. Where is a good place to get a dagger like the one you use for your rituals? The internet? I'm new to meditation and this path, so I appreciate your teachings. You're welcome. Okay. Greetings. Thanks for the chat. But damn, did I have to be so? Did I have to be so sexy this full moon? Did you have to be so sexy? I don't know. I never saw you. Honestly, thanks, I'm messing with you. How are you messing with me? Oh, you are sexy. I know. It's actually intentional. And I'm not just doing it. Like, I'm not pretending like, oh, I got a lot of female followers, and a lot of them think I'm fucking sexy. My little feeling. You know. There's actually method to the madness, believe it or not. This is not by accident. I'm not like, oh, really? Wow, women find me attractive, really. So it's not by accident. I know what I'm doing, you see, and apparently it's working. You know. Realist occultist out here. Of course, man. Of course I am. Why are people talking so much about your look? Uh, People don't talk that much about my look. Women talk a lot about my look. Women talk about my look because I'm handsome. I'm sexy. That's why. There's a type of. I'm not saying I'm the most sex. I'm the sexiest guy or whatever, but I think most women like my physical type. That's it. I know it's not an accident. I'm not a groupie. I'm free. Honey, the left-hand path, we do as we will. Okay, finally found one honest person. Cool. Awesome. He's a true Luciferian. He's got the aura. Okay. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So, do we have any questions about witchcraft, or are we going to talk about how sexy I am for the rest of this thing? God. You women are just sexually harassing me. It's just horrible. Stop it. How long it will take to get the results in magic? Oh, that's a completely individual question. There's no general rule. Focus on what you can't control, which is your effort. That's the only thing you can control. And the more effort you give it, the sooner you will see results. How do you begin a path working with the spirit? Okay, good question. It's probably, let's call it a pact working with the spirit, okay? Because a path working with a spirit, a path working is usually done in regards to a system, or yeah, really in regards to a system or a grimoire or something like that, right? But let's say a pact working with a system. Here's how I found that usually works. You would first call that entity up and approach it with the intention to learn all of its secrets. Okay? Now, the entity is going to usually give you the details on how that works. Okay? It's going to tell you, for instance, well, let me give you the example of a path working that I did for a friend of mine with Zapar, for instance. Okay, Zapar, a demon of seduction and mind control. I facilitated a pact for this person, and I would call up that spirit, and the spirit would teach all of his power through his commanders. Okay, so he would have lower ranking demons that were specifically, how should I put it? in command of different aspects of his power, you see. So he would let us know, or let me know, who the commander is that is in control of that specific aspect, and then there's a name and a sigil, and through that you then work with that specific commander, and that specific commander teaches you about that specific aspect of reality. Okay. Now my approach on how to work with that spirit is this. First, now the goal is always more power. For the magician, the goal should always be more power. At the end of the equation, there should always be more power, more understanding for you, okay? You're not doing this stuff to become the bitch of any entity, okay? And this is where most Satanists have it wrong, by the way, okay? They become like, they replace Jehovah with Satan. That's just the wrong approach, okay? That's weak. Okay, you're supposed to become stronger in the process. And as I'm saying that, I can smell him. I can begin to smell him, and I feel the energy shifting. So he's listening. All right. Here's what you do. Here's what you should do. Number one, you call up the entity and really approach it as an external energy, which it is, right? You discern or ask for teachings, you ask for guidance, and you ask for help with specific things, okay? Next, you then go a step further where you first you apply those teachings, of course, and then you invoke that entity, you invoke that energy, okay? And an invocation is always done to let that energy work on your mind in a more intimate way, okay? And you see how that changes your perspective, how you process things, you know. It's an energy, it's like kind of like an atmosphere around you that is changing you, see? And then you should at one point be able to command that energy. Because look, as you come closer into your true being, you will realize that all of those energies are part of you. Okay? There's a Latin saying out of Hermeticism, which is Deus est homo, homo est Deus, which is God is man, man is God. Or God is woman, woman is God, or goddess. What does that mean? Our occult corporeity allows us to access any energy quality and therefore any entity, any current. And we can access that and reshape those currents to create physical manifestations, change physical reality, but more than anything else, refine our soul so that we grow our understanding of the universe, refine our consciousness, and are freed from the necessity to exist physically. And then we can move on to become something greater than animals. And yeah, that's really how you do it. That's really how you do it. So step by step, you learn about different aspects of that entity. You first apply those teachings. You learn then internally, and then you begin to control that energy without even having to call out that entity. So their power becomes yours eventually, you see? This is how it's done. And the truth is that power was you all along, you see, or within you all along, but you needed that entity to awaken that within you. Okay, but potentially, it is you. It is all inside of you. Love your channel, bro. Thank you. You're welcome. Hi, I'm new to your channel. Okay, nice. Is there any possibility that I can be your apprentice in person? Well, it really depends, man. It really depends. I'm a very, very busy man, and I don't know. You really got to make it worth it for me, man. Like taking that much time. Can you speak about implements as an external versus internal aspect? Oh God, no, I don't want to do that now. No. What do you think about succubus relationships? Can they prevent your ascent or do they help? And why would you want to do that? That would be my thought. Like, how are you going to benefit from that? How are you going to benefit from that? For me, it's always like, how do I benefit from it? And it's got to be an honest, or how should I put it? Hmm. Let me say this, okay? There are many, many things that you can do in witchcraft and the occult that might sound cool, you know. Oh yeah, ooh, I have a succubus uh, that I have a relationship with, which is weird all in itself. I mean, like how I mean, to me, this is just weird. Like, what? You can't get laid? What's your problem? What's your problem? Why do you need to have sex with a succubus? An entity that is not high level in any type of way, shape, or form. It's just a leech, essentially. And you know where you're going to get a succubus without even trying? Just go into a brothel or just have sex with a hooker, okay? That's going to give you a succubus, okay? Or an incubus, or whatever. Okay, no problem. No problem. As if people always act as if these things were some sort of achievement. It's like an STD spiritually, you know? A spiritual STD. That's a succubus. You want that? Go ahead. I was like, what? It's just disgusting. I mean, like, why would you want that? How is that going to benefit you? How's it going to benefit you? You have an entity that sucks away your energy and you know, gives you a boner from time to time. Fuck. I mean, like, why would somebody do that? So that's my perspective on it. How do you do that? You don't need some sort of crazy ritual to do that. Yeah, just have sex with a hooker. If you're that would be enough to get a. But hey, and by the way, neither me nor Grail of the Serpent are responsible for your actions. What I'm presenting is an artistic expression of personal experiences and opinions. Okay, you are, when you're watching this, you agree that you're of legal age in your country and don't break the laws of the land that you're in. I don't, I do not condone hurting people or damage of property. Okay. Now, with that being said, if a succubus, okay, let me, let me rephrase that. Let me say it differently. I think people just crave some sort of supernatural experience and escapism from their boring ass lives. And that's why they come up with stuff like that. No serious. I don't think it's a good idea. And I think a serious. How should I put it, man? You're not going to benefit from that. It's kind of like a spiritual STD. Why would you voluntarily draw something like that into your sphere? What are you going to benefit from that? How are you going to benefit from that? Makes zero sense. A succubus doesn't teach you anything. They're not high level entities, demonic kings or whatever. They're just leeches, fucking leeches. Disgusting, actually, you know? So, I don't know. Would you look to get herpes? Would you look to, like, get some sort of STD? No. So this is what I think about that. I would never ever infect my aura with a succubus voluntarily. You fucking kidding me? No, fuck that shit. Have you used every goetic spirit? Yes, but I wouldn't say used. That's a little bit disrespectful. I would say I have worked with them. How can you pinpoint who has placed a curse on you? Oh, good. When you didn't go pick around picking fights, divination. When you were raised Christian, it's hard to get the stuff they said out of my head, and honestly, I'm seeing things a lot different than what I was taught. Okay. Do I need to hear them before I can get further? Yes. It's truth triumphing over falsehood. Yeah, yeah. Okay, tell them the truth, Frank. Yes. Tell them the truth. I will always tell you the truth. Trust me. Like that you can count on. Frank is always going to tell you the truth, even if it hurts. And oftentimes it does. But growth comes from pain. Okay. I got a friend, he summoned some of the gatekeepers to manifest the job opportunities, but sometimes it just don't work. Do we have to apply the law of Thelema every time? The law. Now, number one, you call up a demonic king to get a job. What the fuck? First of all, that's like way too small of a job. Okay. What do you, what did that ritual look like? Azazel, Belial, all of you. I want this desk jockey job. Like, look, like first of all, you don't need to call up the gatekeepers to get a job. You kidding me? This is like hunting a deer and using, I don't know, an F-16 to hunt that thing down. You know, all you need is a rifle. See what I mean? So first of all, how do you know that you actually summoned it? How do you, or summoned them? You summoned them. Yeah, well, we went through the ritual. Is probably what you're going to tell me, right? We went through a ritual to summon them, and we read everything that was written down there, and so we summoned them. Well, there's actually something to the manifestation, or there's actually, how should I put it, man? When you do a ritual correctly, there are certain sensations that you go through, and then the ritual will also be successful, you know. So you probably, most likely, did not have good technique, which is what I stress every single video. Every single video I tell people you need to have the basic skills of raising energy, visualization, and concentration, and with that you will do every ritual, and most likely, probably not every single one, but let's say 8 to 9 out of 10 will be a success. Most definitely. And if it is not a success, you can then go back and look at the process. Like, okay, this is where I went wrong. But over time, there will be no hit and miss anymore. You see what I mean? Because you will be so good at that basic at this technique, at the process, man, the process. You see, and this is how I got so good at what I do. You apply, you know, you discern a process. There's cause and effect to everything. Always remember that. Okay, and that applies to witchcraft, to everything else in life. Everything So everything, there's a cause and an effect. Okay, so you want to make this happen and it didn't work. Well, there's a reason why it didn't work. You go back. The blueprint of what makes a ritual work I already gave you. And if you don't know it, look at my other videos. You will find it all. Okay. But if it didn't work, go back, see where you went wrong, and do it again with better. And you cannot fail. You literally cannot fail if you put in the work. Okay. Once again, there's a science to this. There's a science to this. It's not about factors of blood type, which is what some people say, or this and that, and this makes you a strong magician, and this like this. Oh, you need to be this and that, and you need to look that way, and this and that, and blah blah blah. You need to piss and shit in a certain way, or whatever people come up with to just avoid the fucking work, and to come up with assumptions. You need to understand what you're doing, and then improve the process, and then you will succeed. It's kind of like that's what I get. I've been fighting for 3 hours, like not total, not all of it, not 3 hours sparring, but we were practicing ground fighting and 1 hour of sparring. Okay, 1 hour of sparring, and before that we were ground fighting, and people were like, the newbies, the new people, they always are like, I'm not completely sure if this choke or if this arm bar works. Are you sure that works? The arm bar doesn't work, right? Because I can't make it work. It doesn't work. And this is the same. This is the same approach that people take with rituals and witchcraft. They can't make it work, so it doesn't work. Or the ritual didn't work. This ritual does not work. No, you can't make it work. There's a big difference. You need technique. You see, and then it will it will be done, and you will accomplish the goal. Okay, so always assume that you are wrong, and then try to improve your technique. That's how you will progress the fastest. Okay, drop your ego for a second and just learn. Okay, and if you approach this like anything else, approach witchcraft like, let's say, learning martial arts, or I don't know, what would be another example? There's so many. Swimming, let's say you can't swim, but you've seen other people swim, okay? And they didn't drown, and then you got a teacher, and you want to learn how to swim. Assume that you know nothing, and just listen, let it sink in, and do exactly what that teacher tells you to do, and try to execute to the best of your ability. And sooner or later, you will have the success that you want. You see, I like the analogy with the martial arts. Yeah, me too. Okay. This isn't just fashion, it's life. It's serious. Some people think this is cool to become a witch on religion and dogma, but do this because you want to expect to do the work. Yeah, it's like anything worthwhile. It will take work and dedication. I need help, man. I need to unlearn Christianity and get that stuff out of my head and fear. Is there any advice? I'm new to this. I need to change my life and see truth. Thanks, man. Oh, man, I'm your guy. You want to unlearn Christianity? Cool. Look at nature, okay? Nature is everything that Christianity is not, and vice versa. Look at nature, okay? You will find the opposite of Christianity. Yeah. You want to know the roots of a religion? Look at their fruits, look at the Catholic Church. These people, uh, I mean, I don't even have words for that. This is so out of sync with nature. It's not even. Look, there's a code in nature that allows survival. You see what I mean? That makes sure that we survive, and that gives us certain qualities. And when we live in harmony with nature, we are rewarded with a certain feeling about life, where it feels like an adventure. You actually feel alive. You feel like a sensation of life. You feel like you're on a journey, that on a quest rather, that is worth it. You see, when you're out of sync with that, you get depressed and you feel like shit, and you get angry, irritated, and you feel like something is off. You feel something is just not right. That's when you're out of sync with nature. Okay. And that's really all that you have to follow, in terms of religious dogma or philosophies. Nature will be your best teacher, trust me. And all good philosophies, from Taoism to everything, that's based on nature. It's based on nature, but you have to have a certain way of looking at these teachings. You can't analyze them in a kind of like a left brain way, because there's an internal process that is connected to that. Okay, it's not like Nietzsche. Man, Nietzsche was fucked up. People that sort of just rave about Nietzsche. How did that guy end up? Do you want to follow that? Do you want to follow that example? Just because he had some like nice things, or some cool sounding quotes or something like that, some sound bites, or Ubermensch, or whatever. Look at how that guy ended up. That's not a sane person. That's not a sane person, okay? That guy was fucked up. So I don't know if I would want to study that guy. Always look at the person. Always look at the person. That's my suggestion. That is my suggestion. Now, it's kind of like these people that work in a bank and want to give you financial advice, right? Like, dude, if you knew that much about money, you wouldn't work here. So shut the fuck up, please. Okay. The same with people that want to teach you about about how to live right, how to the mind, nature, and all of that. Look at their lives. Okay. Philosophy. Why would you listen to somebody who is fucked up? Why would you listen to someone that wants to teach you about philosophy, or about how to live your life better, and is fucked up? That makes zero sense. Okay, and the same with witchcraft. You got to listen to people who can prove their craft and prove on a daily basis that they know what they're talking about. Okay, I've been uploading a couple of testimonials, but that's like a fraction of the testimonials that I got. And I'm going to keep uploading them so you can see and hear from real people what I am capable of doing. Because if I say it, it's not as strong. See? So I'll let other people speak for me in that regard. Let them tell you what I'm capable of doing. Okay? So if you want to learn witchcraft, you come to me, because I can prove that I know what I'm talking about. I get the results. Anybody else shuts the fuck up. Like, what the fuck? You don't get results. All you do is like you learn occult terminology, and you put out a philosophy, a self-created philosophy that exists in your mind. Yeah, great. And once again, let me come back to fighting. Everybody thinks they can fight, specifically guys, they watch Steven Seagal movies and then they think they can do that shit in real life. God damn it. Ooh, this will be painful. You see what I mean? You need a reality check once. You need a reality check once in a while. You will get your ass beat in a real fight, and this is what you need. And then you improve your technique, and then at one point you actually become a badass. You become a real fighter. okay, over time. But in witchcraft, just because it's magic, and people just think that doesn't apply. But it does apply, okay? You need to get results, otherwise you shut the fuck up. Everything else has to be taken with a grain of salt. If people don't get the results, why are they even talking? Okay? Dude, I get, like, sometimes you feel like, if I went to a madhouse and listened to a crazy person, sometimes I would get the same exact amount of value out of what they said as looking at some other occultists on YouTube. They just talk out of their fucking asses, man. Zero value. It's just a philosophy. It's just like assumptions here and there. They're like got their little fucking mental universes that they create, and oh yeah, this makes sense. Oh yeah, this makes sense in their minds. Yes, but can you apply it? Can you make anything happen with that? If not, shut the fuck up and keep that shit to yourself. Okay, there's enough bullshit out there. So that's once again, that's my approach. That's the truth. I will always test my theories, the scientific method. Okay. Why? Because I don't want to get my ass beat. Okay. I'm terrified of getting my ass kicked. That's why I have to train and have to fucking know. Like, I can't run through the world thinking that I'm the greatest fighter in the fucking world without having ever sparred it or tested my skills. You see how ridiculous that is? Do you see how fucking pathetic that is? And this is what people do in witchcraft. They call themselves this, Magus this, Magus that, Magus this, Magus that, and never ever got a single ritual to work. You see? Like how, like, this is just insanity. Just, it's insanity. You gotta test. You gotta test what you think is right. And then you can go with that, with the truth, and consider it a truth, an objective truth. Okay. Before that, it's all an assumption, and you can't buy into that shit. But see, this is also the reason why only a specific type of person follows me. Okay, only a specific type of person follows me, because if you are weak, you will get offended by this, and you will run from me. You will run from me. You will run from the truth. Weak people can't handle the truth. You ever noticed? And they will run from it, and they probably hate me too. Because I'm I'm. I mean, they probably don't even look at themselves honestly. So I'm removing the mask off of the self-image that they have in their head of themselves. And I'm showing them how pathetic they are. You see? With words, I'm just destroying their entire illusion, But I'm not afraid, because I have integrity. That's all I need, okay? I have integrity. That's all I ever need. I don't give a shit about anything else. And with that integrity, with that shield, with that heart, body, and mind in line, intact, I will fucking conquer anything. I don't give a fuck. Okay. Yes, right. Thank you. You're welcome. Embrace the path to feel the love. Right now, sheeple don't get an excuse. It's a choice to stay there. Then there are conscious who can't even handle their own shit, let alone godhood. Yeah. That's the funniest thing about it, right? All these little gods and goddesses of this, goddess of that, goddess of this, goddess of that, right? Just pathetic. Okay, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up here. I gotta go. Hope you got some value out of this. Well, maybe you're going to get it answered next time. And peace.